Brandy moving to 5-1 as a pair, and total now 9-2 for your Palm Beach Passion. Congrats. Give it up for Mel and Brandy, everybody.
AVP League is brought to you by Wilson, the official ball of the AVP. You? AVP League is brought to you by Wilson, the official ball of the AVP. Shirts optional in warm-ups between the LA Launch and the Palm Beach Passion. Phil Dahlhauser, Trevor Crabb, Logan Weber, and Hagen Smith getting set in the top two teams in the Cup standings. Ready to face off in our men's matchup. That's coming up next, but we got a chance to see Melissa Juana-Paredes and Brandy Wilkerson just simply go to work. The three-set victory. And it was really all about Brandy Wilkerson, though, from the service line and from the net.
It was the Brandy show. We talked about how important it is to try and neutralize her effectiveness as much as you can, but there was no neutralizing what she was doing this evening. There's her stat line. You see it. Scoring it in every way conceivable. Putaways, blocks, she had aces. It was the full-on Wilkerson wonderland here in our opening match.
Well, she also got to have a little bit of fun this week, and usually when an athlete ends up on the headlines of TMZ, it's not necessarily the most positive spotlight, but this time it was all positivity. Check out Brandy Wilkerson and Chase Buttinger this week with TMZ.
AVP Pro Volleyball is coming to town, and they stopped over at the TMZ office yesterday to face off against these two idiots.
Yes, Bro 1 and Bro 2 here went up against former NBA star turned volleyball player Chase Buttinger and Olympic silver medalist Brandy Wilkerson. And the result? Yeah, they lost. But they did score 5 points all on their own. Right, Chase?
We were a little nice to them. We gave them some easy points by missing our serves.
Hey, a participation trophy is still a trophy.
I don't know if they actually scored 5 real points or not, and I know you're not a fan of participation trophies.
No, that's not my thing. I'm a big fan of the voice of the narrator for TMZ, though. That is wild, and yeah, what a fun experience. Like you said, TMZ not necessarily something you want to always see yourself end up on, but that was a good way to do it, and well done to Chase and Brandy.
Well, we'll get a chance now to dive into this men's matchup. Phil Dahlhauser, in his final season of play, he will be retiring after this year, partnered up alongside Trevor Crabb, the anti-hero that we know and we love, and they are currently sitting at 4-1. They will face off against the LA Launch, a couple young guns and rookies at that for the LA Launch, and Hagen Smith and Logan Weber, and they have defeated two Olympic teams, one of them twice, to get to that 3-0 record. When you look at this matchup, you see a couple bigs out there, a couple great defenders. What's going to determine this?
Yeah, well, I mean, we know about the power of the serve of Hagen Smith. Logan Weber alongside him. Yeah, I mean, that says power, doesn't it? You said shirts optional, and when your rig looks like that, why would you ever cover it up? Hagen is ready, and he fires away from the end line. His partner, Logan Weber, coming along nicely, too. The big man in front, directing traffic to the muscled-up man there in the back court. But on the other side of the net is that man, the greatest to ever do it, in my opinion, Phil Dahlhauser. And Trevor, not the hero we want, but the hero we need. crap.
Without a doubt, Phil Dahl has over 100 career victories. The one he does not possess, though, is an AVP League championship. Last season, he was 1-7 with his partner Avery Dross. This year, it's a change of the tide, now sitting at 4-1. These are the men's standings, again, an 8-match season for your pairs duo. Top 6 advance to the championships in Chicago. So 2 championships to play for. You've got a cup, that is your team record, and then the duo championship. You will find that in Chicago. These are the top 2 teams. Smith and Weber now 3-0, Trevor and Phil 4-1.
Yeah, and at the top of the women's match, we talked about how important it was to try and get to the top of the table, right? That's what's at stake here. The Palm Beach Passion ladies have done their part. Now it's incumbent upon their men, Phil and Trevor, to try and get there as well.
So we talked about the implications from a cup standings position. What about from a championship standings positions, trying to find those top seeds into Chicago?
Well, yeah, we have 6 teams, so obviously that's not kind of a balanced bracket, so to speak. Those top 2 seeds will get you a bye and make your road to the cup title all the easier, so to speak. Shorter anyways.
These 2 at the top of the contention for the cup standings as well as the pairs standings. We've got an epic battle right here in the Intuit Dome. Check it out on the CW after this break.
Two weeks in a row, NASCAR Xfinity Series racing on the road. 2 weeks in a row. It was Two weeks in a row, NASCAR Xfinity Series racing on the road. 2 weeks in a row. It was Connor Zilic, Shane Van Gisbergen that lit it up.
It was an absolute battle royale, throwing haymakers throughout this whole race. They traded the lead back and forth multiple times. Even some shots to the rear bumper from SVG a couple times in the back of Connor Zilic, but Connor held on and got the win.
Zilic has now got the hat trick on the road. He does it at Sonoma. Back over racing next week. We head to Dover, Delaware. Coverage begins on CW, 4 o'clock Eastern time from the Monster Mile. We'll see you there.
Back inside the Intuit Dome, the Palm Beach Passion facing off against the LA Launch right here in Inglewood, California. Let's take a look at the Cup standings, because with one more win by the Palm Beach Passion, they will eclipse that of the LA Launch. They will then sit in that #1 position again. That is exactly where you want to be, fighting for the Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can see kind of the disparity in numbers of matches played, because each of these teams will play just 4 of the 8 regular season weekends, and Palm Beach Passion have an extra week under their belt, but absolutely looking to get the win here on the men's side and take over that top spot.
So one more match to go between the LA Launch and the Palm Beach Passion. It is a 4-time Olympian and a gold medalist at that will round out an impressive cast. Alongside Trevor Crabb, there is Phil Dahlhauser. We call him the GOAT, and for good reason. Stands at 6'9" and 7 Manhattan Beach titles. Another legendary victory for any beach volleyball player, and alongside the 4-time Manhattan Beach champ, Trevor Crabb. What do you like most about this duo?
Yeah, what's not to like about this duo? I mean, any team that Phil's involved in, I'm interested in watching. And then his matchup with Trevor, especially to kind of close out such a storied career, is so intriguing in that, you know, you talked about that man there kind of being the black hat, so to speak, on the tour, the villain, kind of the self-described villain at that, and that dynamic makes this team all the more interesting to watch.
45 years old and still playing at his peak. An impressive one out of Switzerland and Central Florida. He went off to Central Florida to play a little volleyball and learn beach volleyball. On the other side, it's Logan Weber and Hagen Smith, a 3-0 record. Last 2 and 3 sets done, all of those wins against Olympic teams. And this team, I mean, have we seen a big enough sample size? Do we know what the LA Launch is all about?
Yeah, we absolutely do. They're all about firepower, right? I mean, unfortunately, as we get started in this match, Hagen had to put a shirt back on, but he's ready to bring it out there, and his partner just keeps getting better and better and better in Logan Weber at age 29. Better blocker every time he gets out there, better offensive player every time he gets out there, and kind of learning from this man a little bit in Hagen Smith, who we'll get to his pedigree a little bit later in this one.
From Grand Rapids to UCLA, the duo, but let's check in now with Phil Dahlhauser about this match.
Playing LA Launch, they started the season off hot. First, actually, they made the semis in Huntington. And they went to a no in their first round, I guess we'll call it. So we'll see. They can be kind of hot and cold. We'll see what team we get and adjust from there. Hopefully the cold team.
Always that dry, little wry sense of humor from Phil Dahlhauser.
Subdued wit, we'll call it, from Phil Dahlhauser.
He's got game pretty much everywhere.
Likely conserving his energy for the match to come in that interview.
Another important factor in this one, Trevor Crabb having dealt with a little bit of a quad injury the last time he was out in Miami. Then it was a back injury this week. He said he was at just 50% an evening ago. They still picked up a win over the Mayhem for the second straight matchup. We'll see how he's feeling today.
Yeah, he conceded after the victory that may have been downplaying it a little bit. He may have been closer to 70%.
He only gave me 5%. I think he said 55. There's that nasty serve from Hagen Smith, and it's Phil Dahlhauser from the top deck.
Yeah, interesting. We'll have to see if that trend continues. That's the first 2 serves into Phil Dahlhauser. Not something you see a lot, especially if, as you mentioned, Trevor Crabb is at less than 100%. Expect the majority of the serves to go his way.
Trevor Crabb working with the jump float. Hawaii native, as that is a ball right down the line, and immediately he looks to the crowd to get him on their side. Let's check in now with Kevin Barnett.
Hey Cam, we know that every team now is planning to have to deal with Hagen Smith's serving. He's averaging 1.4 aces per set. Give you an idea of just how impactful that is. There is only one other player in the entire league that's over 1 ace per set, and that happens to be Meg Kraft on the women's side. But he is at 1.4. James Shaw, for comparison from last night, is only at 0.88. And think about the serve of Smith. He's doing it with great efficiency. He had 4 aces on 6 errors last night. So for Palm Beach, they said, we're just going to try and hang on against that serve. Well, here it is. His partner, Logan Weber, coming up with the ace that time. But I did talk to Trevor Crabb on the Palm Beach side about his health. And in very icy hot heavy, Trevor Crabb said, listen, being hurt forces me to focus on shooting, which is my game. And he said he feels a little bit better tonight. So I'll be interested to see, can Logan control the net versus Trevor, who hit .625 against Miami a night ago.
That explains the minty smell up here in the broadcast booth.
Well, it's funny because Phil described the LA launch as hot and cold. Apparently Trevor's back and knees also hot and cold as the icy hot taking effect.
3-2, you already saw the service pressure from the LA launch during that sequence. Now it's time to see Phil Dahlhauser go to work. He's got a multitude of weapons to work with from the service line. Tosses left, hits right. And here comes Weber. What does he have to be careful of, considering you're going up against the greatest blocker ever?
Well, I think just in general, he's best when he's aggressive, right? That doesn't mean you have to swing away at every ball, but you can't be timid going up against the block. As we take another look at this one, Logan convinced he got a touch. Do we see anything detected? Man, it's tough to tell from that. It looks like maybe it went right through the hands as Phil was kind of closing in on that one. In any event, given to the Palm Beach Passion, and we're level on 3.
If you've enjoyed the 20-plus years of watching Phil Dahlhauser play volleyball, well, you can thank Todd White, his junior math teacher, his junior year in high school math teacher, who got him into the sport. And he actually fought him on it. He was thinking, yeah, I don't know if this is for me. Next thing you know, he decided to go fully into beach volleyball. His parents gave him till about 25 to make it happen, gave him a couple loans, and lo and behold, started picking up wins alongside Nick Lucena. There's the glorious hands of Phil Dahlhauser. Overhand dig. And Trevor drops the hands. That's not who's supposed to be blocking.
I think Hagen loaded up a little extra, seeing that Trevor Crabb was up there, and kind of missed the contact point because that ball never came over the net. Trevor wisely pulling the hands back and then having a couple words under the net.
Maybe a little overeager. What a set. I mean, that is an All-American if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, absolutely. Setter. They ran a 6-2 at UCLA. Micah Ma'a, who's currently setting for the men's indoor national team. And those are just two tremendous athletes that had such a wide range of skills that they needed them to set and to hit in that team. You see his setting skills on display there, Hagen.
Well, it's pretty crazy. His freshman year, he actually switched. He was supposed to be a libero going into UCLA. Some injuries came about in it, and then he decided, well, if I want to be on the court, might as well become a setter.
That's a terrible position. Glad he got out of that one.
I mean, can you say it's a terrible position when you win a gold medal doing it, Rich?
Yes, that's how I know.
Five apiece here, just exchanging points. Another high back set. Phil somehow got a piece of that. That had to be, what, a foot behind his head?
Yeah, it looked like it was kind of behind him, didn't it? He just drops the arms into the line side as Logan tries to go across the body. Have a look. Yeah, just jumping into that right side of the court, perfectly timed, shaping that one. Yeah, Logan kind of surprised that came back because it looked like that side was open until it wasn't.
Is there more pressure put on Phil to make some of those big moves, just considering the health of Trevor?
I don't think so. I mean, I think they're just going out there and kind of playing their game to the best of their ability, and whatever happens, happens. You know, I think he may put a little pressure on himself to try and pick up some slack for his partner, but I think that's a pretty consistent theme throughout his career, right?
Without a doubt.
Have the abilities he has, you have a lot of pressure that's kind of intrinsic.
Palm Beach Passion currently on a 3-match win streak. They're sitting at 4-1 with back-to-back wins over the Miami Mayhem. For the LA launch, they have picked up 3 straight wins. 3 matches played. Another quick point for Palm Beach.
Yeah, that's a tremendous serve. Trevor does a nice job fighting it off, but Phil with that lefty knuckle, so adept. Unless you think that that's accidental, he has tremendous control with that offhand and the knuckle.
A little swat there as Phil tries to snag one.
That's how high that's happening, though, between these two guys. Logan Weber, big at 6'9", and Phil Dahlhauser, also big at 6'9", so it's happening way up there.
Who's going to get the end change? 3+ blocks in each match for Logan Weber. A couple of those going to 3 sets as he nearly finds one. Instead, it's the end change in favor of the Palm Beach Passion. Give us a chance to catch up with Hagen Smith in regards to his opponent, the Palm Beach Passion.
We got the Palm Beach Passion tonight with Trevor Crabb and Phil Dahlhauser. It'll be a fun one. I mean, it's always great to play against Phil. He's an animal at the net and just an absolute specimen of a volleyball player, regardless of how old he is. But no, we're excited to go out there and play our best.
A specimen of a volleyball player. You asked Phil Dahlhauser about that, and he says he just feels like he was destined to play this sport, so it sounds about right. The connection's there.
Yeah, specimens come in all shapes and sizes. Hagen and Phil, different types of specimens, but both specimens nonetheless.
And this is what we saw a lot of last night. Out of system play turned in system. It really showcases the need to have a great center.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you hear the expression better the ball a lot when you're playing this sport, and Hagen doing a great job of just that.
Hagen from the right side of the court, ready to serve. His partner standing up at the net as there is one of those nasty serves and an ace. We've seen that hat tossed into the crowd. Still needs it. He's got some work to do.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a great one, and he is not afraid to get the crowd involved in anything he does well.
Joked earlier this week he was bringing the sand from the South Bay here into the Intuit Dome. Over 8,005-gallon buckets to get it done. I think you may have only done one of them, but regardless, says there's the quick pull and nice second contact. Like a globe, that thing's still spinning.
How did he wrap that over the net with that level of precision? Yeah, I'm not sure if Trevor, oh yeah, they thought that was a lift, I think. That was a knuckle too, just sidewinder.
That ball spun 2 different directions in 3 contacts.
Sleight of hand from Hagen Smith.
Usually call someone else the magician. He may have just stolen the title. Little wizardry on that one. Well, our teams are currently in a timeout. Let's check in with Kevin Barnett.
Los Angeles is the home side here, and one of the big moments for AVP League play has become the walk-ins. Players have really taken this on, and I love it. So when they enter the arena, they have a theme, they have an idea, and LA had the right stuff this week. Look at these guys coming down the hallway. I'm not sure who first man was here, but Hagen and Logan, outstanding work along with their women's side. They've been bringing it on the court as well as off. The launch going skyward. I love this. I love the idea of this, and I love what the players league-wide are doing.
It's hilarious because Logan Weber calls himself the Beach Cowboy, and apparently this week he's the Space Cowboy.
Yeah.
Beach Space Cowboy? Is that too much?
He walked in today still in his boots and cowboy hat. You gotta love it.
The bad news is I think once you get to zero gravity, that cowboy hat doesn't stay on.
Good work. 10-8, a critical juncture here in set number 1. Just 5 points to go for the LA launch. Of course, launching from Inglewood and not into space. A couple Beach Cowboys right in the mix as well. You can guarantee they're Logan Weber fans. Here comes Trevor out of the timeout. And this has been one of the big differences. More communication, just considering some of the injuries on the side of Palm Beach.
Well, yeah, and it's a new-ish partnership. You know, they're rolling very well as a team, but still, you know, some bumps and bruises to kind of figure out as you work your way into comfort level between the two-man team.
Option play from Hagen Smith. Kevin Barnett wanted some more of that last night.
Yeah, I mean, that's just a play that's predicated on that first contact, and that one is excellent from Logan Weber.
They switch sides heading into this season. Logan Weber and Hagen Smith from left to right. Put the big man on the right side. It's the opposite scheme for the Palm Beach Passion. Trevor having to work his feet. One arm grab. He didn't have a dig till set 3. He's got one now and trying to find a block. Hagen's come alive defensively.
Yeah, the one-arm spear, unbelievable. Perfect control on it as well. There's a look. Good footwork to get to that tight set, little cobra over the top of Phil, and then he can't traverse the net.
Hands on the knees for the Palm Beach Passion. We're gonna need to move quickly here. Trevor with an open net. This time it's dug on the left side of his body. Phil has the length, but not the touch.
Another one-arm dig from Hagen Smith. You said it, this time with the left hand. What can't he do out there? Look at the calves, Cam.
The perfect song playing in the backdrop. Let's rock and roll here in Los Angeles. The rookies going to work. Trevor has a block in front and Hagen runs it down. How about the back set from the big man? Have you ever seen a hat bill dig?
No, there, we almost saw one there. Yeah, he kind of mimics trying to flip it up with the bill. But a really good move in transition to take kind of the easy out, that swing down the line away from Hagen Smith. Yeah, that's good stuff. That was almost a hat bill block there as it tried to wiggle its way through the arms of Phil Dahlhauser at the net.
And just a bit of a correction here for you. The score is actually 10-13. The Palm Beach Passion bet down by just 3. Ace serve!
Phil with the ace, 10-13.
Look out for Phil. You're never out of it. When that man is on your side of the net, that was sniper stuff right there from Phil.
How different does a serve feel coming from 6'9" versus maybe even just 6 foot?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of things that go into that, right? Obviously, the trajectory he can create, it's getting on you a lot quicker. Both of these guys, Hagen and Phil, have kind of a lowish toss, so it's not, you know, like there's this sort of lengthy rhythm that you can settle yourself in and serve receive. It gets on you in a hurry from the time they toss to the time that they crack it at you.
And again, just as a reminder, score currently 11-13. The LA Launch with the 2-point advantage. We're working to get that updated for you now. We'll keep you up to date as we continue through this first set. But man, has it been so fun. Oh, look at that. Nice work, Scotty Rogers. The French fries on the board. And not a whole lot of communication. You saw this yesterday. Brandon Joyner down in the box for this duo.
Yeah, he told me they had a little bit of a laugh because I was down on the sideline and I said, hey, you know, when you guys called the timeout, what'd you tell your boys at that juncture in the match? And he said, absolutely nothing. Hagen came in and said, let's let this one breathe. And they just sat there kind of as we saw right there. You know, it's not a mystery. They've just got to earn 2 side outs to close out this first set. So you don't need to overthink things if you're the LA Launch.
Play free if you're LA. Right now on the side out. Tough serve, fended off. Trevor was waiting for that one. Seems like they're trying to pick and choose when to pull off the net and when not to.
Yeah, Phil doesn't pull a whole lot. He's such an imposing blocker. That was just a good setup. And Trevor, like you said, waiting right there for it in transition.
More so on the side of Logan Weber, though, going up against Trevor Crabb. We've been watching him shoot for the last few days. 12-13, the score now, correct. Starting to climb our Palm Beach, looking for the tie. Trevor, another good contact. Lands out of bounds and 3 people surrounding it. Tied ball game.
Yeah, so if you track those last 3 serves from Phil, he went ace up the sideline of Logan Weber, then right kind of to Logan Weber's middle. This one into Hagan, but Trevor Crabb getting 2 successive digs and putaways in transition. He's so surgical when he has those scoring opportunities.
8 ties now in this first set, 2 lead changes. Looking for number 3.
Well, kind of changing where he's hitting this serve from a bit.
That ball has some smoke on it. Right back down the line, and it's Palm Beach with a set point.
I love that switch up from Phil, right? Because we know about how good his middle to middle serve is. He kind of typically serves out of the middle of the court. He just lines up knowing he wants to go up Weber's sideline, so that it's basically a middle to middle serve that's just shifted over a few feet, and look for him to go there one more time.
Opportunities fleeting now for LA.
Interesting.
They go the opposite direction, and it's Hagan. Phil just wanted to finish it a different way. Big block and lots of emotion from the big man.
Watch this on the second look. Phil, watch, he steps in, indicating that the line's available, and then all of a sudden it's not. He closes it down right there with tremendous deception.
One of the greatest minds and one of the greatest players in the sport of beach volleyball just secured set number 1.
Goes down, that's okay. Good form by Rain, and keeping the hat on. Yes, Hagan. Crossing the halfway point. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Comes around the final turn. The final turn. The net is the finish line. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Being chased by low. But it will be winner.
AVP League is brought to you by Wilson, the official ball of the AVP. AVP League is brought to you by Wilson, the official ball of the AVP. The mecca of beach volleyball in the United States, a look at the South Bay. That's the Manhattan Beach Pier all the way to the Hermosa Beach Pier. Joining the two is just about a mile of sand and the Strand, one of the best places to catch all of your favorite AVP pros and the league play. Now, just on the interior of the coast in Inglewood. Intuit Dome as the Palm Beach Passion are taking on the LA Launch. Second set now underway. And a beauty of a start. Jump set and left them watching.
That's a nice start for the Launch because they have to be reeling just a little bit from dropping that first set on a 7-1 run from the Palm Beach Passion. Cam, and they need to get something going here early and see if they can maintain it.
Tries to find the back corner. Let's check in now. Kevin Barnett.
That's called out of bounds off the corner.
Dahlhauser was really tough to start this second set. I talked to Phil about the end of the first, and what about that last serve? Why go to Hagen? He said, I didn't want to. I tried to go to the middle because I'd just gotten him down his line, down the line to Logan. I tried to go to Logan again down the middle, and it just tailed away. He said, well, as soon as I did that, I thought, well, I know Hagen likes to hit lines, so let me show it and take it away. Plan just happened to work out, but it was not the service start that he wanted.
Oh, that's a great call out, Kevin. Good work.
Kevin, in your career, you built leads and then just quickly gave them away over and over again. How did you deal with that coming out into the subsequent sets?
Is that the question I should ask the launch? Hang on, I'll go ask the launch what happened.
Thanks. Good work, Kev. You got a chance to see Hagen Smith unload on a play there. Now 3-1, Smith and Weber. Best of 3 competition. So Smith and Weber needs set number 2. The LA Launch women just succumbed to their first loss of the year. And LA Launch trying to avoid that now on the men's side.
Absolutely. It's a good start again from the Launch. But that does tend to weigh on your mind if you have such kind of a commanding lead as they did in the first, and it evaporates in a hurry.
You look at this partnership of Phil and Trevor, and it actually came together in Newport Beach. Rushed outside, a chance to play some 4s, and they looked at one another and said, do you have a partner? Nope. Do you have a partner? Nope. Why not? Neither of them wanting to go in international scope. Decided this is a perfect partnership. Phil's loving the energy he's getting from his partner in Trevor Crabb. He said he wanted somebody that was going to be able to push him, but maybe not push him too much. He didn't want to get annoyed, but still have somebody that brought a lot of good energy. And he said somebody maybe like Casey Patterson, that positivity, that rawness. And he said he just loves Trevor because his comments are funny and it loosens him up. And I think that was displayed on that last point in set number 1. I don't know if I've ever seen Phil celebrate that hard.
Yeah, it was exciting. And, you know, for all the static, let's say, that we give Trevor for being kind of villainous in some of his behaviors, he is sort of the consummate competitor. And so I think he really demands and gets the most out of all of his partnerships.
Yeah, without a doubt, another side out on the side of Smith and Weber. These two still in their honeymoon phase is what we'll call it, but their play has improved. They took the early loss to Partain and Benish. They do have a win over Sander and Crabb. That's the other Crabb brother. As Phil goes with his left.
Again, yeah. Just add ambidextrous into the seemingly unending list of skills that Phil Dahlhauser has on a volleyball court. I like that they met over some 4-man, kind of the Tinder of beach volleyball, where you can find new partners.
Tough cross-court float serve. And Logan Weber, for being a big guy, he's got some soft hands.
Soft paws, cat-like.
Hagen enjoying the beat drop here from DJ Rouchet. I think he's been on tour just about as long as Phil has. As that sent out of bounds as Logan drops the hands.
That's when we saw a couple times last night from Phil. We see it there again, just a little bit of a missed contact at the top end of the swing. See that sleeve around his left calf. You wonder if that affects a little bit of the elevation at times.
And I talked to him yesterday. He said, pretty much at this age, you're always going to be feeling something.
Could be father time working his way into the mix, certainly.
This is Phil Dahlhauser's swan song in terms of his final season playing professional beach volleyball. Over 20 seasons played, 100 career victories, a gold medal, 4 Olympic Games. He's left behind quite a legacy as well, bringing the big man to the beach. There's that lateral motion. Remarkable dig from Crabb. He's sitting shallow in defense. And it was the right call.
That one sails just a little bit long, yeah. Talked about all the accolades that Phil has. This being the swan song, I'm much happier to watch this final season of play from him than any song I've ever heard from any swan.
I was once attacked by a swan in Ireland. That is a true story. They're mean over there.
Would you call it an ugly duckling or something? And it took offense?
There's photographic proof too. I'll show you later. 6 apiece here. Option, another unrelenting swing from Smith.
Man, have a look at the pipes. When you add torque onto those babies, you get this result here.
Seven to 6. We saw a couple serves hit the 57-mile-an-hour mark coming off the hand of James Shaw. Hagen Smith is up there in terms of the tempo. More importantly, the spin rate. What a pole dig. Plenty of tempo on that.
Tough one there. That is an excellent pull dig, as you said. A great set as well from deep in the court from Hagen Smith, and then just barely missing the mark. Big Logan. Tough when that ball is coming all the way over your shoulder. You have no peripheral vision. Sometimes difficult to find your bearings.
Another high set and good vision. One of the marquee aspects of this LA launch team is that they've always felt like they're physical, that they're athletic, but maybe the consistency hasn't quite been there. And Hagen Smith saying, sometimes I just want to be able to play some boring volleyball. He does anything but that, but explain the context.
Yeah, that concept means, you know, you don't want these peaks and valleys in your performance. You know, even Phil in that opening interview described them as sometimes a little bit hot and cold in their performance. I mean, if we look at the first set, even they were extremely hot. And you have to, of course, credit Palm Beach Passion and what Phil did in particular from the service line for that cooling off. But, you know, you want to play boring volleyball in the sense, you know, if you think about it in golf terms, I just get hit fairways and greens. You know, it's not that exciting, but it's consistent. I know what to expect. And, you know, I kind of have this baseline that always has me capable of winning.
It's the discipline, right, that's required. Sometimes it's not about the flashy play.
And that's quite frankly, that consistency element is what separates the top tier teams, the elite, from kind of that second tier just below them.
A stunning option play defended. It's going to be tough for Phil to win that one.
Yeah, Trevor needed to be aggressive, was aggressive with that set attempt. Just got a little too much on it, goes over the net, and Logan cleans it up. But that was a look at the lefty pokey pull dig from Phil Dahlhauser.
A cushion from Trevor. Doubling down on the defense. And a ball saved right back to Phil.
That was phenomenal. It doesn't go the LA Launch's way, but this dig, not only the read from Hagen Smith, but then tracking the ball past his own partner. Unfortunately for them, that ball ends up over the net and Phil's there to clean it up.
Pretty crazy for Hagen Smith yesterday in their 3-set win. He only had 2 digs in all 3 sets played. Right now he's got 5 and another error. That's nasty.
Unfortunately, that does go down on the stat sheet as an error, but that is just a tremendous move. Watch the lateral jump there from Phil. Perfectly timed, the arm work. And yeah, he's pleased, rightfully so.
Phil Dahlhauser's 4th block in this match. Side set to a slide. Is this indoor?
I don't know what it is, and I don't know what, you know, how many years of gymnastics Hagen Smith did, but he runs into the referee standard, spins out of it off one leg, and celebrates with the crowd after that one-legged slide hammer.
Came down with a little extra authority on that one. 10-all. Little show and take. What a play at the net. Wow, and now it's Logan Weber playing some defense.
Yeah, that was just a great track of the ball from Logan Weber. It rattles through his hands on the block. He goes down low, pops it up in the air, just somewhere where his partner can take a cut at it. Look at this. Big reach into the angle, finds it low. And then Hagen with that two-footed takeoff gets enough pop away from Phil Dahlhauser to get the kill.
Palm Beach scored the last 5 points to win set 1. That's important at this juncture because they're currently just 4 away.
Indeed, yeah. This is where you just need to sort of reset mentally if you're the LA Launch, right? You don't want what happened in set 1 to play any sort of effect on your mind.
Pour a little salt on this one. French fries on the board. He didn't mean to serve down to Hagen's side. This time he goes to his target, but that ball not on target.
Not on target. It is loud in here. The LA Launch have been enjoying the crowd interaction and the music, but it works against them a little bit there.
It's been back and forth here in set number 2, just about a 1-point differential throughout its entirety. And now a lead change for Palm Beach. How do you handle the pressure? A couple rookies on the side of LA. Nice pass. High set. And that's too easy. That's a giveaway. Another chance for Palm Beach. You just can't do that, and he knows it.
Yeah, sometimes, you know, like I was saying earlier in this match, Logan is his best when he's a little more aggressive, I feel like. Just softens up a little too much there, I feel like, and it plays into the hands of the Palm Beach Passion. And also credit Phil, he made sure he got that serve on Logan Weber, their kind of desired target.
How do you reset mentally here? Because to me, that's a big error on the side of Logan Weber. He knew it. He put his hand to the palm of his hand. He had an opportunity to get this a lot closer, and instead it's a 2-point differential and timeout called.
Yeah, I mean, there's, you know, never a time to look backwards, obviously, right? You just kind of regroup, you focus on this play coming out of the timeout, and you make a resolve to stay aggressive here. We've got to not try and limp our way back into contention and hopefully over the finish line in this one. We've got to go full force, guns blazing, see if we can't, A, side out, B, make a play on defense.
The second set is in favor of Palm Beach. A little energy momentum now needed on the side of LA. Their efficiency 375 and pretty stunning. Crab and Dahlhauser below them at 273 in this set alone. But nonetheless, with a 2-point advantage. With one more win here for the Palm Beach Passion, they will advance to the top of the standings. They will overtake LA. LA will have multiple chances. This is just their second week of action. But Palm Beach will have positioned themselves pretty perfectly leading into the final stretch of the season. Tough serve down the line, and he wants it on his arm. Ooh, you talk about some ice water in your veins.
Yeah, that's right. Good, like we talked about, good aggressive play there from the LA Launch, and Hagen getting rewarded finding the back of the end line.
Come out of the timeout, show them something you haven't yet. There's Mel and Brandy cheering on the Palm Beach Passion men. 1-point game. You hear the oohs, the ahs. That one hurt the entire stands. Match point.
It is match
Smith and Weber looking down the barrel of their first loss.
Yeah, the good news is Phil's not serving at you, but tactical and very much so is Trevor Crabb. So you have to really focus in here. Logan will have a chance.
Logan goes up against the goat and pushes him back.
That's a little bit surprising. I mean, that happened way up there, and the blockers always had a bit of a disadvantage on these kind of plays because you can see Logan has the momentum. He even swings through that one. A really nice play. And, I mean, that is far from your strongest contact point if you're a blocker, all the way extended overhead.
Match point remains. Weber has to serve and run to the net. They go to Phil. Big versus big. And a hitting error. Unimaginable. 14 all.
That is not what we expected right there when that serve went into Phil. All the live betting money was going on lights out.
14-all, it is a must-win by 2 situation. We will play to 16. 2 match points fended off by the LA Launch.
Yeah, they go back to him.
And it's out of bounds. Back-to-back hitting errors for Phil Dahlhauser. That was not on my bingo card.
Absolutely not. So it was Phil who took over the match at the end of set 1 and brought the Palm Beach Passion all the way back. And now back-to-back hitting mistakes. I don't know that we've ever seen that from Phil, and it has the Launch in position to push this to a 3rd set.
Phil Dahlhauser now has 6 total hitting errors. He's just at 143, and he's got to dig himself out of this hole.
That equals his career total.
It's true, in 23 plus years.
Not his high in a match, his career total over 20 years. Yeah, that's an excellent question. Our director chiming in, do you serve Phil again? I think the answer has to be yes. Everyone biting their nails, including in our TV truck for this one.
Michael Shames wants answers. Set point now for the LA Launch. And hugs to get back out on the court. I don't envision these 2 hugging though.
Yeah.
They come away with this 2nd set. They may do so though. Phil Dahlhauser looked like he came down after that joust with a little bit of issue on that left leg.
For Palm Beach, you get a side out here, and Phil will be back at the end line. But he's got to get this first.
This is for the set out of the net, and instead it's a little too much power.
I think just a little bit impatient perhaps from Hagen there. Tries to tomahawk that over on 1, but when he's down on his knees, just can't create the trajectory necessary. Yeah, gets kind of caught in between with his hands there. Can Phil rectify the previous 2 hitting mistakes?
To 17 we go. Logan, simple pass and a better play, cuts back to the line.
Good defensive setup from the Palm Beach Passion there. Trevor was sliding into that swing, but there's a good look at Logan being aggressive, taking a good, healthy hack at that one cross-body.
A 2nd set point opportunity for LA. The slow clap has commenced. Some power. And now Trevor gets dug. Can he? He does. He goes to hit, and an unthinkable ball into the top of the net. That just hurts. It hurts so bad. 16-all. Kevin, what do you think?
You have to hit it. Full speed. I want a full attack. Just crush straight down for the set. Don't get conservative and just try and put it in.
I like that he took a cut at it, but it was a little bit of a last-minute decision, unfortunately.
Who's going to get the advantage now? He writes it. 17-16 and a 3rd look at a set point. Kevin Barnett is pulling out his hair.
Kevin unwittingly revealing his personal approach to the game when he played. Hit everything as hard as you can.
Everyone knows caveman.
Trevor will have a chance to side out. Gets the slap. Bang, bang play, and he saves it. Redemption for Logan Weber, sending this to set 3.
Nobody would have guessed that Phil, with 2 opportunities to close it out, would have missed both. And the Launch push it to a 3rd here in LA.
I'm not even sure who had the last laugh on that point. Throw up your hands in complete disbelief. The LA Launch have moved to set number 3. Ooh, that was dicey.
Are ready to rock. What's your name? What's up, Jacob? What's your name?
Doesn't get much better than this. The AVP League has brought you a new format and some of the best beach volleyball you'll see. Sets to 15 with legends on the sand, Olympians on the sand. And just outstanding performances from all 4 athletes. All right, everyone, drop down your pulse just a bit. We've got one more set to go. Kevin, how you feeling, man?
Oh, I'm so ready for this. That kind of play at the end there is why a lot of people are asking, is Logan Webber the next big man for the United States? Great opportunity to play against Phil. Much like Phil, Logan's had a non-traditional volleyball journey. He's raised in Grand Rapids, Michigan, which is not the South Bay of LA, but it turns out there are beaches all across America. The shores of Lake Michigan offer a vibrant volleyball culture. 3 Western Michigan beaches hosted in a cycle during his youth: Holland, Grand Haven, Muskegon, and then your 4th week you'd go across the lake to Chicago for another tournament. Here he is alongside Michigan native David Vandermeer in 2010. These are 14-year-olds here. And sister Libby for the co-eds took turn at partnership, working his way towards the AVP. And you may not know that Logan actually made his AVP Heritage debut much earlier than the record books reflect. Here he is in 2011, just 15 years old on the AVP court as a ball boy. And of course he played indoor as well, that's fine, but from those beaches of the dunes, Logan would keep at it. Here's the 2017 USA Volleyball Collegiate Beach Championships. Logan, podium, right side, 3rd place. Good job alongside Nathan Vandermeer. But look to the left-hand side, who's on the end? A slightly less buff, slightly less hair, more mustachioed, one Hagen Smith. So that was it, and then 2018, David Vandermeer is back. They make their first main draw. What was their reward? Jake Gibb and Taylor Crabb in the first round. That's right, Logan had 5 blocks, David 12 digs in that loss. The one-time little pup from Michigan is now the big dog in LA, undefeated in league play to this point. The stuff of dreams, guys.
It absolutely is. He said he was once recruited to play college ball off the 92-second highlight reel that he calls cringeworthy. I can tell you that second set was anything but, as they secured the second and are looking for set number 3 to remain undefeated.
Rich Lamborn, weren't you coaching in that 2018 match?
I was, yeah. 1-0.
Against Logan Webber.
We keep a lot of records here with the AVP League. All right, set number 3. I mean, tough conditions coming out of the second set. A lot of energy shifted now to LA. Is that to be worrisome on the side of Palm Beach?
I don't think so. I mean, it is just, this match has been wild already. Kind of what we hoped for, and we are getting everything that we hoped for indeed here. This battle for the top of the table.
Right through the uprights. That's good for 3. 2-1 now. Logan Webber at the service line. We haven't been saying a whole lot of Trevor Crabb's name. Why might that be?
Well, yeah, I mean, they wisely, I think, they being the LA launch, kind of found their man in Phil. Maybe just finding a little hiccup in his offensive game this evening. And I think when that happens, you have to stay with it until it stops being the case. So kudos to them for sticking with it when kind of everything in your brain tells you that that's not the way to go.
It has to feel risky.
Yeah.
So far, Phil looking good here in set number 3. Might be another change or shift back to Trevor Crabb. Nice lift of the platform. Oh, this is interesting. We got an out call, then an in call. And we're going to see a challenge here.
It was very interesting. The flag went up and then it went back down very quickly.
That's what you call a psych.
Yeah. It's like when you hear players call line and then immediately angle for their partner. Let's have a look.
The second referee, John, is allowed.
No. Oh, that ball's out.
That is out. She was right the first time.
Out. Always go with your gut, Cam.
But there's no video replay. They go off of the ball mark.
Yeah, that was interesting because the ball mark looked like it caught some line, but that replay looked like it was decidedly wide.
So again, no video challenge, just a challenge on the sand based off the ball mark, and that goes in favor of the LA launch.
Right, so now Phil and Trevor are going to give our lines official a little bit of a earful there. Maggie doing a good job, had the call correct.
The next thing Phil does too, talk about gamesmanship, he goes and cleans up just about every divot in the sand with his feet. Nothing like a good foot rake.
A foot rake out here, it's a Texas wedge on the golf course.
Yeah. Simplified pass there for Phil, and it's another. He's in complete disbelief, as are the rest of us.
Yes, indeed. Started with a good serve from Hagen, kind of got the pass deep in the court. Just throws off the rhythm ever so slightly. Reduces the...
Dahlhauser hitting 176 on the match. 7 errors on 10 kills, and there's trouble. An ace launched by Hagen Smith.
5-2 launch.
He's got a unique serve too.
Yeah, indeed he does. He goes with that two-handed toss. Most people use if they're going to hit kind of a flat float serve, but it allows him to be so consistent. His rhythm is almost always the same. That one sails on him a little bit, but that's part of the consistency of his serve is, you know, it's kind of predicated on that toss.
When we build these arenas as well, the sand is a bit shallower, so it plays in the favor of the physical teams. You get a little bit more jumpy. You see the demonstrative serve of Hagen Smith because of it. Oh. Net violation called. We haven't seen one of those all weekend.
Yeah, it's been a while. People staying pretty clean out there, but Logan just following through that time. So the Passion get back to within 1. Much needed freebie for them.
Both of these rookies on the side of LA having dealt with some injuries throughout their career. They're looking awfully healthy here. Good vision for Logan Weber. As he lets that one go, he's had 3 detached retinas in his career. Unimaginable to come back from, and you can see if you get a blocker that's 6'9" and get that head over the top of the net, that's the danger that exists.
That sounds like it's time to start wearing some sort of protective eyewear out there, you would think. But off the hook on that last play for the launch as Trevor Crabb hit that one wide in transition.
Hands drop down, and that ball is sent into the stands. You could feel that impact.
That's what we're used to seeing from Phil. That's why the mistakes have been so baffling, because this is kind of textbook. Phil just coming in and detonating balls.
Just a 1-point game. Those double-digit kills you're accustomed to, but not the errors. 4 blocks. We haven't seen much done at the net in sets 2 and into sets 3 from Phil. He looks for a big move here, and instead Trevor with the chest dig. Hard to control with that.
Yeah, again, good position, but credit Logan for a good high, hard swing. Got that last soft shot picked up with ease by Trevor Crabb, so he ramps up the velocity a little bit on that swing.
Crabb and Smith equal in terms of digs thus far, 7 apiece. Weber has added 2 in on his own, pulling off the net. Start to wonder about some attrition here too. That's the nice thing with this format. There might not be any.
Yeah, I don't think fitness factors in too much. And you do start to clench a little bit as we get down to the ends of these sets, don't you?
Sets it wide and just on time. There's that block from Phil Dahlhauser.
Yeah, that is such a good move again from Phil, that show and take move to the line. And especially as that set's kind of wide of the antenna, that is the easiest place for Hagen to get out, so to speak.
Just 3 men have had 5+ blocks this season, including Phil Dahlhauser now, Taylor Sander, and that's Logan Weber, who sends one back, as well as Brian Miller, who's actually done it twice. 8-7 now, a side switch.
A swing on 2 from Logan Weber. Again, good aggression on his part. I like Phil just kind of staying down. He wasn't really in position to get up and over on that one, so he thought maybe his partner was there to get the dig defensively.
Short serve, and Phil has to climb his way back to the sand and play defense. A huge opportunity missed.
Yeah, that is a big one. Kind of earmark that play at 8-7. 9-7 starts to feel good, especially after the overpass for the LA launch, but that swing wide. Yeah.
A little woo-saw
yeah.
from Hagen Smith as he goes back to the baseline just to recenter himself.
Anger management goose-fraba.
Beach Cowboys sitting on the right side of the court. That's Logan Weber. Set into the center of the court, and another good dig. Trevor Crabb. Airborne, it's got to go. Touch off the block. Casual approach. Gets denied.
That is tremendous handwork from Logan Weber to seal the net low. Trevor has so many different varieties of line shot that he can hit. Went high with the first one, tries to sneak that one in underneath the block. But you see that left arm got up and over the net quickly. We're going to stymie that.
A regretful swing there from Trevor Crabb.
Yeah, so a couple missed opportunities in back-to-back plays. One for the launch, one for the passion there.
Change of pace. Right front corner for Trevor Crabb. Why do you see so many short serves?
Yeah, well, I mean, they know that Trevor is a little bit hindered, right? Making him move is going to work in your advantage. It also, you would think, neutralizes some of his pace that he's able to put on the ball, shortens his approach, lessens the physicality, but not so much this time. The two-step drop, and he whaps into the angle.
Spoke to him this week, and he said the mental side of the game is where he's focused. And that is night-night volleyball. A dent left in the sand.
So he got the jump set, but Phil didn't bite on the kind of option fake. And there again, you see that perfect timing, dropping that left arm into the angle big, just piking.
Just the first lead for the Palm Beach Passion in set 3. Hagen has a look. Zoned in is Trevor. And he leaves that one up on a platter. Give that guy a tip.
Bringing the tray of drinks out to the thirsty fans right there. Good pickup from Trev, and then he's been shut down once or twice on the previous play on the line shots. It just dices that one into the cross court.
Timeout taken now.
All right, so I was just given a big one, the big one.
Next Saturday, the NASCAR Xfinity Series rolls into one of the toughest tracks on the circuit, the Monster Mile, Dover Motor Speedway. Get ready for high speeds, high banks, and non-stop action as the top drivers take on one of NASCAR's most demanding ovals. Don't miss a second of the action. The NASCAR Xfinity Series from Dover next Saturday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific, only on the CW. Los Angeles has shown up in a big way, and they are rooting for the rookie duo of the LA launch, the unbeaten rookie duo of the LA launch. Phil Dahlhauser and his partner Trevor Crabb have put themselves in a fantastic position here in set 3, a 2-point advantage. Trevor Crabb at the service line. Where do you go? We've seen both Hagen Smith and Logan Weber with opportunities.
Yeah, I think you just go to some space, right? You can score either way. So hit a tough serve, which means don't hit it right to either player.
LA led 5-2 since then. It's been a 9-4 run for the Palm Beach Passion. Phil making big moves, a chest dig. He's had 2 of those now. One's got to land right.
This is the most extensive chest workout Trevor Crabb's done in a while.
They're good on your plan next week, don't worry. Platform shifting to the right. Phil, it was hard to tell if he was excited about that point or not.
Yeah, it was almost relieved the way he celebrated that, right? Pass kind of glances out there, but Trev sets him a good ball, and he just snaps it kind of high through the middle.
Phil Dahlhauser casting a massive shadow on the sand. His legacy outlasts the rest. 5 blocks already. He's looking for number 6, and Logan Weber finds himself underneath the net. There's no center line, though, in beach volleyball.
No center line. He does a nice job snapping on that ball and then avoiding contacting the net. You also have to credit the great ball control from Hagen Smith, taking a jump serve from Phil, pushing it up to the net into that option zone for his big partner.
Weber looking for the tie. Option, and it's scooped. A heroic venture for Hagen Smith. Finds the tie.
Yeah, Palm Beach sort of asking half-heartedly if perhaps that was down on the sand, but have a look. That is clearly off the forearm of Hagen Smith. He's shown us time and time again it only takes one arm for him to come up with some spectacular digs, and that was such a timely defensive play from the launch.
A defender so tough, so strong when he was 15 years old. Is that ball good? It is! An ace! But this guy's so tough, he was once bitten by a shark when he was 15 years old. The shark was left missing teeth. That's just how tough this guy is. True story. The 4th ace now.
Hagen Smith stares at the sun and the sun blinks. He's like our Chuck Norris.
Exactly. Lead change, Smith-Weber. Waiting in the angle is Hagen Smith, but maybe a little too much of a reach there by his partner.
Yeah, you like your blocker, going and taking what he sees, right? He's very close with that, a little bit split, but Trevor with a nice aggressive swing into the cross court. And late inning leads, not safe in this match, Cam.
13-all. To 15 we go, as that's a ball ripped right back down the line. Now a match point for Smith and Weber, a place they have yet to be against Crab and Dahlhauser.
Yeah, Hagen willing the crowd onto its feet here to spur them on with this match point.
Do you believe in the LA launch, looking to remain undefeated? Silence and into it dome. And the air just left the building, 14-all.
Right through the uprights. Logan going split with the hands. Phil doing what a lot of people try and do to him when he's at the net and go right up the middle.
How about some more volleyball for you? We could do this all day. Beautiful serve. Open net. And that's when you want to swing away, Kevin Barnett. I know you like that one, buddy.
That's tremendous there, and you have to give the nod to Logan Weber for tracking that ball down and putting up a hittable set.
Second match point for Smith and Weber. The slow clap once more.
A little too much mustard on that dog. You can see the trajectory was different, right? He normally gets on top of those balls and just shoots them to the spots he wants. He was a little underneath that one.
It's like the last rep underneath the bench press, right? You just get a little too much on there, a little too stoked. As they find another match point, here comes number 3.
That's a great side out, too, from Logan. That set was a little bit wide. He just kind of falls away and guides it into the cross court.
Match point number 3. Trevor Crab looks to the other side. A no-look swing. Did you see his eyes?
That was fantastic. I think both players for the LA Launch kind of leaning in the line side direction as they know Trevor loves that line side, but that is a very gutsy swing, Trevor Crab.
Palm Beach has not had a look at a match point here in set number 3. They've if they can get it done with Phil Dahlhauser's serve. Different tempo. And a cut way too close. Point to LA.
Way too close for your blood pressure. Perfect if you're the LA Launch.
Our stands doing a bit of burpees here. They sit down, they stand up. They sit down, they stand up. Everyone anticipating yet another match point. Here comes number 4.
It's the chairmaster.
Simon says, swing away. Logan Weber, a denying desperado. The rookie duo remains unbeaten.
What a match that was. Seems like the worst thing you could do in that match was have a lead after 10. Each team that did have that lead initially gave it up and ended up losing the set. Fireworks from the LA Launch to remain undefeated.
Another unforgettable match with the AVP League. Welcome to professional beach volleyball in 2025.
A good adjustment there from Logan Weber as you take a third look here at that final block. Got beaten the swing before on basically that same swing by Trevor Crabb. Moved that right arm in just a touch. Gets rewarded with the stuff and the victory over the Palm Beach Passion in this one. Yeah, there we go. Take the shirt off, kid.
Shirts removed. Kevin, you keep yours on, all right, buddy? But here are your winners.
Hey, tarps off kind of moment here. You guys are playing to the crowd, playing good volleyball, winning matches. Describe your brand of volleyball here.
Oh, my God. We're surviving, it feels like, the last few, the entire league, but it's working out. You know, if one of us goes down, the other one steps up. I mean, Logan, way to go. Way to go, baby.
Yeah, so much is being demanded of your game, teams targeting you. How are you able to rise like this? What's being demanded of you in development?
It's just staying relaxed and trusting my partner, trusting our coach, Brandon. And yeah, I just think mentally we're in a really good spot even when we let up a couple points. And again, I know that we'll always be able to make those points back up. And yeah, just stoked, just so blessed and grateful to be here in front of all these people. It's been an amazing weekend.
Rocket fuel under the launch. You guys are undefeated. Congratulations.
A huge win. Smith ended up with 16 total kills. Weber bested him with 17. And more importantly, they remain #1 in the cup standings. Palm Beach needed 2 wins. They only got 1 against the LA Launch. The rookie duo has made a statement in the first half of the season. Thanks so much for joining us here on the CW. I'm Cameron Irwin alongside Rich Lamborn and Kevin Barnett. We hope you've had as much fun as we have right here in Los Angeles. We can't wait to see you right back on the sand. Thanks for joining us from Inglewood.
Yeah, we trust each other's volleyball abilities, and we've just slowly realized that as long as we stay in it mentally, we stay together the whole time, yeah, it's hard to stop. It felt like you were feeding off each other and feeding off this crowd. What is it like to play an Intuit, Megan? Oh, this is maybe one of the best, if not the best places we've ever played. I mean, are you guys into it or what? Let's go. An incredible crowd and such a fun team. Give it up one more time.